And welcome back to Ask Coach Trista. I'm Dave Erickson alongside Trista Francis, and today's topic for Trista is tips for race travel. And Coach, we all have to have a destination race at one point or another. What kind of good tips do you have for getting to the race venue?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dave. The first thing to look at is when you're looking at airfare, you definitely want to consider the cost of what it's going to take to pay for your bike to go on the airplane as well. So you definitely want to look at those tickets, but you also want to look into each individual airline as to how much their fees are. They can range anywhere from $50 to $150 each way. And so you definitely want to be mindful of that when you're accounting for which flight you want to book into your destination. The next thing is packing. My biggest advice here is bring it all. You never know when that cold front's going to come in or, the weather's going to change. And so, even with water temps, bring your wetsuit, bring your skin suit. Don't leave one at home. Bring light goggles, bring dark goggles. I've seen it happen many times, I think, at a different Ironman where the temps dropped and you have 500 people trying to find a jacket for on the bike. And that's going to relieve a lot of stress if you just have that packed in your bag. So I would say, when you're packing, really bring it all: arm warmers, jacket, that sort of thing, even if you don't think that you're going to need them. I always like to tell my clients about the Fabulous Five. Fabulous Five is your running shoes, your cycling shoes, your tri-kit, helmet, and wetsuit. If you have those five things, picking up a pair of goggles, picking up some cheap shades at Walmart or something like that are a lot easier to do than those big ticket items. So always remember those Fabulous Five. Um, Next thing would be on the travel day. So even if it's just a short hour and a half flight, by the time you leave your house and you actually pick up your rental car and get to the hotel, it could be several hours. So I encourage not only just packing snacks and an empty water bottle, but also packing a lunch like sandwich, an apple, just so that you have that to pull from. Every time I've traveled, I've done that, and I have never thrown away a sandwich. And so that helps you kind of avoid, those airport fast food sort of things that can maybe not settle with you when you're trying to prep for such an important race. The next thing is kind of when it comes to your bike. When you land at the airport and you pick up your bike, you want to make sure that you open up that bike box and you look over your entire box, checks for any damage. If you've done that, you're more likely to get reimbursed by the airlines if there has been damage than actually if you leave the airport and then try to come back and make a claim. The next thing with that is, for sure, when you're building your bike, make sure that you do that as one of the first tasks when you arrive, to make sure that you have plenty of time in case you've lost a part or you need to find a bike shop. Ask for a female, something very important. Make sure you are the only one tightening your skewers, tightening your pedals, and even if you take it to, say, bike support the morning of, watch them closely, make sure they aren't tightening things down. The reason I say that is because one time happened to me that I could not get pedals off to pack my bike at 11 p.m. at night in my hotel room by myself, and I had a 5 a.m. flight. So especially for females, make sure you're the only one really touching your bike doing that. And then the last thing I would recommend is just make sure not only do you test ride the bike, make sure it's all functioning, but you have an opportunity to pre-ride the course or preview the course, depending on the length. So get out there, check the entry to the swim, the exit to the swim, drive the bike course, drive the run course. You've spent a lot of time and money getting to this place. You want to make sure you're prepared.
When it comes to packing your bicycle, are there things that you should not pack in your bike box? Whether it's because of weight restrictions, or I know I've heard that CO2 cartridges you can't pack with you on an airplane.
Yeah, correct. You can't take CO2 anywhere. So those are things that you'd have to buy at the race venue. The one thing I would recommend is keep your helmet out. The bike is heavy, and I have seen helmets get damaged in bike boxes because of just the weight of the bike. It's more, I think, limited to weight restriction than anything. So.
I've even seen pro athletes after a race, maybe it was on the way to a race, carrying their bike shoes because just in case, God forbid, your bike doesn't arrive, at least you have shoes to fit onto a new bike or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely keep those key items like the Fabulous Five with you, not in the bike box. Another key with packing your bike is I like to, as soon as I take everything off, whether it's a skewer or whatever, it all goes straight into a Ziploc bag. And so that's kind of a key too, is don't kind of lay it all out as you're dismantling or putting it back together. It just comes off the bike into the bag, and that way never had an issue.
And this is one thing that I thought about recently because I went on to a trip recently and I thought I might want some snacks with me and I was running late and I saw a pack of, it was actually a Power Bar Gel Blast with me. I thought maybe I'll take those with me on the plane for a snack, but are there some things you maybe don't want to use as snacks during maybe a 4 or 5 hour commute that's, this is wasteful or this is really more for, race nutrition versus a snack?
Yeah, for sure. Talking about fuel versus nutrition, you definitely want to make sure that you have whole foods. And like apples and oranges are great to pack. Probably a little bit better than like a peach or a banana. Pretzels are great, that sort of thing.
Okay. Use the hashtag AskCoachTrista if you have a question for Trista on Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube. All right, Coach, thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Dave.